let's cross now to Jerusalem and correspondent Irris Makler. Irris, any official statements?
No official statements. You know, that often has been the Israeli policy, neither confirm nor deny. During this war, we have seen some attacks confirmed by Israel when it carried them out, but not this one, not this series of audacious and unprecedented attacks. You know, hundreds, if not thousands, of small explosions and hundreds, perhaps now thousands of injuries. So no confirmation of that, but a backhanded confirmation, if you like, in terms of Israeli politics. There was meant to be a palace coup. Israel's prime minister indicated he was going to remove Israel's defense minister from office. That talk was going on all day. I expected it to happen tonight. And then suddenly all that was cancelled. And within 2 hours, we saw these attacks. So perhaps that's a backhanded confirmation of Israeli involvement.
Yeah, let's go over the timeline of the last 48 hours, because if we dial backwards, there was a meeting on Monday between the U.S. envoy to the Middle East and Benjamin Netanyahu, where the Israeli prime minister made strong statements about having to secure the northern border. And that followed what he stated publicly. Let's take a listen during a Sunday cabinet meeting.
The status quo will not continue. That requires a change in the balance of power on our northern border. We will do everything necessary to return our residents safely to their homes. I am committed to it. The government is committed to it, and we will not settle for less than that.
The status quo must not continue. Well, that could mean one of two things. Either you tone it down or you dial it up.
That's right. And it wasn't clear from that statement. I think Benjamin Netanyahu is responding to public pressure from within Israel. Something, you know, tens of thousands of Israelis are displaced from their homes in the north of the country because of this ongoing fighting with Hezbollah. And they have been complaining actually vociferously for a while. But I think during the last week, not only that the number of attacks from Lebanon into Israel, and it must be said from Israel into Lebanon as well, but that was not dialed down, but also people who had been moved south within Israel, so they've been moved from their homes in the northern border further south. That area soon became under attack as well. So you were going to have to move them a second time. And they were saying, where will we be moved to finally? Will we have to be moved back down to the Gaza border to be safe from the rockets of Hezbollah? So there was mounting public pressure on Benjamin Netanyahu, pressure he has ignored until now. There was a cabinet meeting. They did say that they were incorporating the return of the citizens who were displaced in the north to their homes as part of the war aims. So perhaps that was a sign that the war in Gaza was being dialed down, if that was a possibility. It does not seem it's a possibility with this current right-wing government, and that may have been one of the reasons that Benjamin Netanyahu was looking to broaden his coalition, bring in other players and dismiss his defense minister.
Irris, we can expect a wide range of reactions from ordinary citizens in Israel following that Hezbollah statement that our correspondent in Beirut, Rawad Taha, read out. What is the general mood after this operation?
Well, the cabinet, security cabinet is meeting. That includes the defense minister, who was about to be fired, but is now doing the job, or still doing the job, I should say. That includes the prime minister. It includes all the military leaders. There is a discussion there, I heard within the last half hour, that they anticipate an attack from Lebanon, a broadening of the war. There have been no instructions to the citizens who remain, the few citizens who remain in the north, to go to their bomb shelters, but there is definitely an alert on public transport, you know, airports, ports. So yes, there's a huge increase in tension here tonight following this action, which Israel has still not taken a responsibility for, although Hezbollah in Lebanon does attribute it to Israel.
And I have a homework assignment for you, Irris, since you'll be joining us in the next hour in the France 24 debate. And that is, of course, to talk about the timing. And just a quick word on that. You mentioned at the outset how all this was happening when the attention where you are was on daggers drawn between the prime minister and his defense chief.
Yes, I mean, today, from all the reporting that we saw, was a day of Israeli politics. You know, a change in the government. That was what was being mooted. That was what was being discussed. That's what the politicians were discussing. And then suddenly in the afternoon, all that went quiet. Netanyahu, it was said, Israel's prime minister, was not proceeding with the action against his defense minister. And you've got this quite absurd situation where, you know, less than 24 hours ago, the defense minister, Yoav Gallant, was a man who could be moved aside. Now suddenly he's a man who can't be moved aside. So was he bad at his job or is he good at his job? Like, it definitely becomes a question of where politics and military judgment meet and which takes precedence.
And we'll be asking you more about that in the next hour in a special edition of the France 24 debate. Thank you, Irris Makler.